Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is in quite a peculiar position in this stronghold it's formed between around $100,000 and $108,000. It's done this after breaking a descending wedge formation. You can see that in white and entering a prior macro range between these two yellow lines, which, by the way, stem backwards years and years and years from a 2017 top and also the 2021 bull market top. So it's done good stuff, right, over the last couple of months. And May, which, by the way, according to a lot of people, is generally a bearish month. People say, oh, sell in May and walk away. Well, I debunked that at the start of this month. I said that was ridiculous, and it's been proven ridiculous. We've seen a very, very bullish month of May so far. We've gone upwards quite a lot on Bitcoin and altcoins as well. And we currently stand in a position on Bitcoin where we're heading towards June, and we expect the cycle, as per traditional 4-year cycle theory, to top out in around October or November. So we've got about 5 or 6 months left until the cycle is meant to top out. We're not exactly, bathing in the glorious feeling of having plenty of time left, right? 6 months, 5 months is not a long period of time. And so having this stronghold we've formed between 100K and 108K for the last week or so is making people uncomfortable. Do we pull back here or do we continue upwards to the upside? And actually the last 24 hours of price action specifically has been quite abnormal. We've seen a big pump and a big dump straight away. What is going on here? I'll explain that in this video today. I've explained it in prior videos, but today I have more context and we have more short-term context as well. The short-term pullback argument is growing its strength at this point in time. Before we get into it today, guys, we have an exchange here that has never been hacked before in 3.5 years of being on the market. That is global non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world and use this exchange without a VPN. And furthermore, with my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life, as well as $8,000 plus USDT in trading rewards added to your account as trading bonuses for signing up with my referral link down below. This is big stuff here. It's an excellent deal. I reached out to them for partnership. They did not reach out to me. I don't get paid by them. The only thing I get is a referral link. And if you want all those things I just mentioned, which you should, trust me, I've done the scouting of the market, you can use my link down below to sign up. It takes 30 seconds and you'll get those rewards and bonuses and you'll help out the channel. I appreciate that, guys. Let's get into the content. So just quickly recapping what we've discussed in prior videos, because I know my returning viewers are probably bored of hearing this by now, but my new viewers probably have not heard this anywhere on YouTube because people don't look at things like this, right? Only true analysts, not to pat myself on the back, but analysts who actually know what the fuck they're talking about look at things like this. And that is the USDT dominance chart, the 14-year ascending support line on Bitcoin. And the fact is we have a hidden resistance zone at around $108,000 and rising, which explains why we had our prior local peak at 106,000 and just yesterday we had our peak at 107,000, right? The peak is rising as we continue moving horizontally on this price chart as time continues moving onwards. So we've got an established support zone at 96,000. That's that red line right here that I've just circled. We've also got a hidden resistance zone at around 108,000 currently, coming from the USDT dominance chart. Okay, a chart that is reverse correlated to Bitcoin and measures the strength of the US dollar, the USDT, okay, Tether against Bitcoin. Tether being a stable coin, and hence when Tether is deployed, crypto goes upwards, hence the reverse correlation. This is a chart that actually predicted the top on Bitcoin in 2021 for the bull market on both occasions. And right now it is saying that Bitcoin is at strong resistance. Again, it's reverse correlated. So this chart going upwards is bad for Bitcoin. We want it to break down from support. Another thing that's more straightforward that you can probably understand more easily is this 14-year ascending support and resistance line on Bitcoin, which stems right back pretty much to the origin of Bitcoin price action before the first halving. It's been interacted with many, many, many times in Bitcoin's history with very, very few fake outs. And you can see right now that is, of course, ascending as well, which explains why Bitcoin is forming local highs while still being at seeming resistance. So these two things I've just mentioned here kind of give context to what's going on Bitcoin. It looks like when you look at this chart and you look at, okay, there's no real observational based resistance coming from over here. And so it doesn't really look like anything's happening here. But when you look at those USDT dominance chart and you look at the 14-year ascending support and resistance line, you understand there actually is resistance here. It's just not easy to see. And given the fact that we've seen a macro breakout into a fresh resistance zone, which is just hidden, the question arises, do we break it or do we reject downwards? Now, I think we're in a macro bull market, and everything that I've ever seen on Bitcoin ever, which is the 4-year cycle, does suggest we are in a macro bull market. And the breakout we've seen from the retest of 74K, flipping that zone for support after breaching it of 8 months of holding at resistance. Okay, that also just suggests we're still in a bull market. The vast majority of my audience thinks we're in a bull market as well. Only 11% of you think that Bitcoin is topped out, according to this poll right here. The S&P 500, yeah, it went downwards quite a lot, but it's made back pretty much all of those losses, and it's come right back up to the 6,000 point mark, teetering on breaking all-time highs again. So everything on the macro scale is suggesting that the bull market structure, which is the regular cyclical structure that has existed since 2012 on Bitcoin and since like the 1950s on traditional markets, everything kind of suggests that that's still intact. And so it seems ridiculous to assume that Bitcoin would break down on a macro scale and enter a bear market here, given what information we have right now. Now, if Bitcoin actually does that, we can react to it, okay? I'm not saying it's impossible. Trends do break, but generally speaking, trends that have lasted for decades, you probably should trust them more often than not. Now, if Bitcoin once again breaks down from something like, let's say, $74,000, this recent low we formed, then we can say, okay, we're in a bear market, everything's screwed, let's get out completely. But until that point, the resistance retest we're seeing here and the weakness we're seeing here, in my view, is nothing other than evidence for a short-term bullish pullback, right, to slightly lower prices before rising again and breaching all-time highs. Now, we can look at the short-term price action and we can further validate that. The short-term does not look pretty good right now. It doesn't look good, okay? We have an ascending channel formation on Bitcoin on the 4-hourly chart. We have the 4-hourly chart also showing a clear ascending support line, which is unsustainable. We can't expect this to hold forever. If this does break, we will see a momentum shift to the downside. We will see this channel break and we will see Bitcoin go towards lower prices like $97,000, which was prior resistance before we moved upwards here. And $97,000, of course, being the POC, an area of major support on the volume profile. So an obvious target for a short-term pullback would be $97,000. Ethereum's doing pretty much the same thing on the short term. It had an ascending support line. It broke down from that, actually came back up again, resistance support flip, and it's heading down again with a massive cup formation, a reverse cup formation. That's not a good sign. It could also be a head and shoulders pattern. Again, not a good sign. So we have Bitcoin and the market in general at major, and it is major, hidden resistance, right? And it's major because it actually marked the top in 2021. Major hidden resistance with short-term weakness, and that does make the likelihood of a pullback quite high. Now, a pullback hasn't actually been triggered yet, and I'm not sitting here necessarily predicting it because I don't believe in making predictions until validation has occurred, and at this point in time, we still have the structure on the short-term intact. But if that structure breaks down, and if the structure on the 4-hourly chart RSI breaks down, that would be a zone in which you'd start to make a prediction for a short-term pullback. In this scenario for a short-term pullback, as I said, $97,000 seems like a very, very likely target to be reached. We could also reach something like $93,000, which is the bottom of our yellow macro support range. But ultimately, I think that a pullback, even if looking likely, would not result in anything devastating from a macro perspective. I still think Bitcoin and the market in general will be in a good macro position. Now, in tomorrow's video, and I'm splitting up these videos intentionally because I wanted to cover the new stuff in the short term today, but a lot of my arguments here I am repeating. But in tomorrow's video, I'll be discussing the altcoin market specifically because the altcoin market right now is probably the most interesting thing in the market, okay? We saw a massive revival of Ethereum particularly, but also altcoins in general in the recent month, okay? Bitcoin going upwards from the 74K region to around 100 and something K, 107K, okay? That's a pretty decent increase, but Ethereum actually skyrocketed 100%, okay? It doubled. Bitcoin did not double. And that is a sign of life that we very much needed on Ethereum. And now as we see this short-term pullback potentially start to take place, we need to do a life support check on Ethereum to make sure that it doesn't just die again. And that's what I'll be discussing in tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I hope my arguments were clear today. I hope you understood them and got something from it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. And also check out the Bitunix Exchange if you are interested. It's a global non-KYC exchange. It's never been hacked before. So already I've said things that should interest you. Global non-KYC, no VPN required, never been hacked before. That's incredibly good stuff. And with my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life. So every single fee you pay will be decreased by 15% for life if you use my link down below to sign up. Check it out, guys. Use that link. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you soon.